Okay, it's the 10th of April. It's Thursday. We've got about 30 minutes to the NY Open, and we've got CPI today. We'll go to the charts in a second. Just a second. Okay, it's fine. Just 1 second. 1 second. Okay, let's go to the calendar. Okay, today CPI. That's the big one for this week. We got CPI today. That's in an hour from now. Okay. Yeah, so that's at 8:30 a.m. EST is when we have CPI. So I'm not going to be taking any trades before CPI. We're going to wait for CPI, right? And like we usually do, we're going to be looking at the 5-minute time frame or the 15-minute time frame, not the 30-minute time frame, right? CPI, we're going to be looking at the 5-minute or the 15-minute. On regular trading days, we look at the 30-minute time frame, sometimes the 15-minute time frame. But usually it's 85% of the time, it's 80% of the time it's on the 30-minute time frame. When there's a lot of volume on those days, sometimes we look at 15-minute structure and the 15-minute time frame for entries. But for CPI, we're going to be looking mainly at the 5-minute time frame, maybe at the 15-minute time frame, right? Okay, we're very bullish. Okay, daily we're very bullish. Uh, Price we spoke about. Let's just do a recap. We got plenty of time. We've got a whole hour for analysis. So I'm going to take it very slow today, right? Yesterday we discussed. We're going to do a recap of what we discussed during the first 5 minutes of yesterday's stream. We spoke about 3055 being a very important level. It's a decision point, right? Price, you can see how price tapped it here, price tapped it here, price tapped it here, here, and we tapped it here. Now we said we're going to ignore these two candles, which we did yesterday for our analysis. We completely ignored this because this candles on the daily time frame, they offer us no information, right? Because they're small. This is a doji, this is also a doji, very small body. The trading range is only 100 pips on this candle. This has no trading range. So we completely ignored, we disregarded these two candles with yesterday's analysis, right? And we consider this as the previous day candle, right? So this candle closed below 2055. The day before that we tapped we tapped 3055, and this one closed below 3055. So I said when price comes there, it's going to make a decision. Either we're going to tap that, probably push further up, reject, and close below. That was one scenario. The second scenario is we close above, so that means price is making a decision that it's going to continue to push up, right? And we have that decision now. When we look at price, when we look today, we have a confirmed decision where price decided to close above 3055. That's a decision point. close above, and it has and closed well above it, right? A good 250, almost 260 pips above it, right? So we are bullish, right? So on the daily time frame, what I am looking for is a pullback and a continuation up, right? A pullback and a continuation up for CPI. So maybe we have a liquidity grab during CPI and then a continuation up. Maybe that is the idea, right? Now later on, after CPI, could we tap here 3135 or even 3150 and reject? That's very possible, right? We haven't tapped 3135 yet, right? That's a weekly SR level. It's a weekly resistance level right now. We haven't tapped it yet, so that's very likely where we are heading to. That's about 140, 150 pips away. Pretty easy to get there. We could possibly be heading to 3150. That's 280 pips away, right? Now, I would like to see a retracement, a liquidity grab, and then a push up, because then you would have higher RR, you'd have a lot more profit potential, right? If you head to 3135 and then to 3150. Okay, so that's what I'm kind of looking for: a pullback, a grab of liquidity, and then a push up. Okay, we are going to look for that. We're going to see on the lower time frame if price has done a liquidity grab, right? Now on the daily time frame, I don't see anything. I see this week here. This could be possibly the daily time frame liquidity grab of 2956. We spoke about this, how important that level was to here we can see a couple of taps here, and then price came, tap 2956, and it has pushed 1,750 plus pips up, right? That's a $175 change on gold. Prices pushed up. Okay, let's go to our trading chart. And before we draw our zones, we always do a recap of any trade ideas, any trades that were taken, and any trade ideas that I gave. Now, if I remember right, I said no sell ideas. I said no sells. I'm not giving out any sell ideas. It's only buys. Now we had a trade idea during this NY Open. We had a trade idea. This was it. 30-minute support was also created, but I said we're going to look for the 15-minute support to be created. So let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Because price was very far from the EMAs, we had 15 minutes support created here in the NY session, but to me this wasn't a tradable 15-minute bull candle, so we had to wait for the next candle to close. So then the next candle closed here. This is how I would draw the fib anyway, because we have 15-minute support form here. So I draw the fib because this candle took out this low, this candle took out this low. So we draw the M15 fib, but we cannot take a trade because I want to see a 15-minute tradable bull candle close. This to me is not a 15-minute tradable bull candle close. We formed 15-minute support here, but this is not a 15-minute tradable bull candle close. This one was a 15-minute tradable bull candle close. This was perfect. We closed above the London high. We closed above 3055. I placed entry here at 3055. I placed another entry at I think here 3051, and there was another entry at 3047, right? 3047, 3051, and 3055. Stop loss, more aggressive stop loss I said would be 3042.66. A more conservative stop loss would be 3034.32. Right? What happened? Price didn't pull back. This was the candle open. Price pulled back maybe a few pips. We missed the entry by about 10 pips, and price pushed up. And where were the TP levels? 3077, 3086, and 3096. Those are the TP levels, right? Price went to them, went to all of them, but there was no pullback, unfortunately. Now, later on, look what happened. Price came and tapped all of those entries, right? We tapped 3055, we tapped 3051, and we didn't come to 3047, but it tapped all of them and it pushed back. Now, what you need to learn from this is, it's not that you should have place pending orders. You shouldn't do that. I don't do that. If I try to get in and get out inside my session, I don't leave pending orders open for the next day. All right. Now this happened in the NY session. The point I'm trying to make here is the validity of the system and the setup. right? The reliability of the system and the setup. That price comes to a liquidity candle. We had drawn this off. There were there were very specific reasons, right? There was a checklist, right, that need to be checked. That there are certain things, there are certain criteria that need to be met for these buys to work out, for us to think of taking buys, right? There was a liquidity candle here, so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into all of them now. We spoke about these very clearly yesterday before placing the pending orders. Price came to those entries, respected the low, right? Respected through 3042.6 is where you could have had your aggressive stop loss, right? A more aggressive stop loss. And price pushed up back to the TP levels, 3077, 3086, and 3096, right? So that the only thing to learn from that, the system, you can have confidence in the system, in this kind of trading, this kind of low risk, high reward, high probability trading. You can build confidence in it because it works. Now maybe it didn't work in the hours that we were trading within the hours of the stream, but it worked outside it. Okay. So I didn't take any trades yesterday. So let's get rid of all of these. Three one three five 3086 055 306. Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's start. Now, let's look at where price is currently, right? We're inside a supply zone. Sorry. We're inside a supply zone. Let's take a closer look at this on the 1 hour. Let's go to 30 minute. Okay. Just wanted to check if this was a reaction or this was a source, right? This is a source because price has gone above. Let me explain what I was looking for. We have a 4-hour supply here. I wanted to know if this 4-hour supply is the source of supply or is this supply a reaction to this something here, because we have a drop, base, drop. It's not. Price has gone past this high. Even if you look at the 1 hour time frame or the 30-minute time frame, that's a drop, 3 basin candles and a drop, and price has gone above this high. If you look at the 30-minute time frame, it's still the same story. You have a drop, you have a lot more basin candles, and this would be the drop here. Price has gone above them. So price went above them and then created supply, right? Even here, price has gone above it here and then created supply and dropped. This high is 555. This high is 645. Yeah, so we've gone above this far high as well, right? So this is a source. Now we have supply here. Price hasn't broken it yet, but we've come deep into it. So we're going to try to now start with narrowing that supply down, right? So price has come, let's say, all the way there. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, maybe even the 15-minute time frame. No, that's good enough. I think this is, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I was going to bring it to the this. I'm going to consider this as a leg out. So the open price of this is 946. Okay, that's better. Right? Price is deep, trading deep inside it. Right? It's very easily going to break. I'd like to narrow it down further, but there is no base in candle to do so. This is doesn't have. We can't go to the 5-minute. We have to stay on the 30-minute. So here's the issue. We have a rally, we have a drop. We have no base here, right? If you go to the 15-minute, you can say that's a base, but that's a full body candle. There is not much wick on that candle. That is why I don't consider that as a base. But that candle has no top wick, so price is going to break that high pretty easily, right? We have got a lot of volume. We're going to break above that high, right? That 15-minute candle high. It's around 3135. Okay, let's leave supply like that. That's good enough for now. Now this is still 4-hour supply. It's a part of 4-hour supply, so we're going to keep the label exactly the way it is. Is it a high liquidity zone now? No, it's not, because price has now crossed the 50% mark. We've gone deep into it. We just have about 30 or 35 pips left, right? So we're going to get rid of that. Let's move this to the right. Extend this to the right, I mean. Extend the liquidity candle as well to the right. Right, that's supply. That's the supply. That's all the supply that we have for the NY session. There's current supply here, where there's a supply zone where current price is, and there is a supply zone above that, and beyond that we have nothing. Beyond that, the only technical level that we have on the chart is 3,200. It's very possible that price can get there. Very easy. We can do that today, or we can do it tomorrow. Very easy, right? We are very bullish right now. We are going to take a look at the liquidity graph. We're going to look at the lower time frame and see if there is a liquidity, if there already we have a liquidity grab that's happening over the last couple of days, or could it be today? Could there be a liquidity grab today to push up on the lower time frame? On the high time frame, we spoke about this. This is possibly the liquidity grab. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, yeah, there's nothing on the 4-hour. Yeah, maybe this wick on the 1-hour. Right, 136 pips. Okay, so I would consider this as a liquidity grab, as a high time frame liquidity grab of 2956. Right now, if you remember in the stream, we've always spoken about, once you have a high, if price is continuing in that same direction, once you have a high time frame liquidity grab, you 80% of the time or 85% of the time, you'd see a lower time frame liquidity grab as well. We are going to have a look at that later on, right? But let's finish with the zones first. So that's supply. Okay, let's look at demand. We have a rally, a base, and a rally here. Let's start with that. Okay. We have a rally, base rally here as well. This is a basin candle. This candle has more collective wick than it has body. So rally, base, rally, and this also the reason this is a base, because it has a smaller body than these candles, and it has more collective wick than its body, right? So we have a rally, base, rally here, and we have a rally, base, rally here. Okay. Let's take a look at these on the lower time frame. Now, the reason we are going to the lower time frame is because this candle has crossed a weekly SR level. Whenever it does, we need to, even if you see a zone there on the 4, you still have to go to the lower time frames to take a better look at it. Right now, here we have a base here, right? We are going to bring it up there. We are also going to go down to the 30-minute time frame. So on the 30-minute time frame, it's very clear, right? I always say try to find, if you're unsure of how to draw the zones, if you're a bit confused and unsure, then work backwards. Start with the leg out. If you look at these candles, right now, we have we've drawn a rectangle here. So if you look at all these candles, what's the largest candle that has moved out? Would be this, right? So if this is the leg out, then you look for the largest candle that has moved in, would be this. So everything in between is the base. Okay, so we start there, 786, 142. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to bring this down here so we don't overlap that. Same thing here. We've come off a weekly SR level, so we're going to take a look at the 1 hour time frame. Go down to the lower time frame, and we have a base there, right? Right there. Drop, base, rally. It's a reaction. It's not the source. It's a reaction to this. This is the source. Rally, base, rally. So let's go down to the 30-minute time frame. That's better, right? This is a reaction to this. So drop, 3 base in candles and a rally. 727, low 874. Okay, perfect. Now they're both 4-hour levels because they're visible on the 4-hour. Right? Let's take a look at this area again. Let's get rid of this. We can keep it. But let's take a look at it on the lower time frame again, just to make sure that those zones are not overlapping each other. Rally, base, rally, and a base formed here. Let's go to 30-minute. Yeah, it's better on the 30-minute, right? Let's get rid of the liquidity candle for now and get the base right. Yeah, so price hasn't broken this original base. We have a rally, base, rally. Price dipped in, created another base and a rally, right? So we have a drop, base, rally here. So let's include this base so that we don't overlap it. We bring it down here. This low is 874.8. Perfect. Right. Now, is this still a high liquidity zone? Yes, because the zone was originally there. That's a 112 pip zone. We've just tapped about 30 pips of it, right? So it's still a high liquidity zone, and it's a 1-hour demand zone. Okay, that's demand, right? That's the demand zones. Now, it's about 800 pips. Just because it's CPI, we're going to extend this, but I don't believe price is going to come down, but we are going to extend it to the right, just to cover a larger area for CPI. That's 4-hour demand. That's a high liquidity zone. Perfect. Okay, the next thing now we're going to do is we're going to look for high liquidity zones, right? So we have, this is no longer high liquidity zone, and we already spoke about this. Price has crossed the 50% mark on it. We have a high liquidity zone above. That's an old zone. But now we have about two new zones. We have two new zones. This is already from yesterday. That's a high liquidity zone. We have two new demand zones, right? Let's take a closer look at those zones. So here we have a demand zone, a rally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basin candles and a rally, very clear. Has it taken out anything to the, has this move taken out anything? Let's look at the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, so there is supply right here, right? It's very straightforward. We have supply here, we have supply here. We have a rally, 3 basin candles and a drop. This high was taken out by this move that pushed up. So this is also a high liquidity zone. And then we have a rally, 2 basin candles and a drop, and was taken out by this move up that took out that high, right? So both of these are high liquidity zones. Let me just repeat that in case you didn't get it. There's a rally, 3 basin candles and a drop. That's supply. This push up, you can see this wick took out this high, right? This high has gone above, making this a high liquidity zone. Then we have a rally base, 2 basin candles and a drop, and this push up, this high took out that high, so making this a high liquidity zone. So we have two new high liquidity zones, right? Now, next thing, and supply and demand are very close to each other, just 100 pips away. Okay, price is above the EMAs. Okay, that's good to know. That's important to note that price is above the EMAs. Just give me a second. Okay. Now, next thing, we're going to check if there is a high liquidity candle in here, right? And then we're going to take a look at these two areas and look for a high liquidity candle in them. So there are 3 zones that we're going to take a look at to see if there are high liquidity candles, right? And then we'll come back and take a look at this supply as well. So on the 1 hour, so I'm basically looking for the largest bullish candle here, starting from the 1 hour, right? So the largest candle here would be this candle. That's our 346 pip candle. This one is much smaller. Let's go to the 30 minutes. This would be the candle. Let's start by marking out that candle on 30-minute time frame. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. You can bring it down here. It's a 265 pip candle now. Still the largest. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame. $125. Yeah, 227, 228 pip clean push up. That's the largest move. Yeah, so let's keep it on the 15-minute time frame. 102, 432. 432. Okay, let's look at the zone below. Here, right? This is the zone that we're looking at. We're looking for the largest bullish candle. Right now, the only candle is this. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame. We have this candle. It's a 200 pip candle. There is this 146 pip candle, and there is this. I'm looking left on that same line. I'm looking left, right? So we have this a 288 pip candle, right? And we have this 196 candle. So let's start with this. Okay, I'm just looking left of it, right? It doesn't have to start here. You're looking left on the same line. Let's look at the 50-minute time frame. The 50-minute time frame, we've got this. That's 183 pips. That's 192 pips. All right. 380 pip move up. Seven. Let's go to the 5-minute. 126, 189, 184. Yeah, we're going to stay within the 50-minute time frame on this. 183, 199. Yeah, let's stay with this. Now price has already tapped it a bit, so remember what I always say. When you have liquidity candles near each other, price usually taps it and pushes up. So on the way down, that's why you'll see price go through. If you have them touching each other, price goes right through both of them. Okay, keep that in mind. 536, 432. Okay, that's it, right? Those are two liquidity candles just touching each other. This was formed yesterday on the way up, and then price came back, grabbed liquidity, and formed it one more on the way up. We'll take a look at the Asian and London sessions, then these liquidity candles will start to make more sense. Okay, let's look at the zone below. We've got another one zone left, right? There's a 1 hour zone here, high liquidity zone. Let's take a look at it. Again, we're looking for the largest bull candle. There is this that has engulfed the entire zone, 176 pip candle. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame. That would be this, and that's the one price tapped yesterday. So let's start with that. Okay, let's go to the 15-minute time frame. It's still that same candle. Okay, so that is the candle, but I'm going to bring it down now because we've tapped it. Okay, we've tapped this. This is the low. 536.32. Okay, that was the liquidity candle that we marked yesterday. You can see how price came and tapped the liquidity candle and then pushed up. Came back, tapped it again and pushed up. Okay. Now we've got 3 liquidity candles. So when price is coming down, it can easily go through all of them because they have been tapped. This one was created, price pushed down, tapped it, went up. Then it created this one, price came down, tapped it, went through, tapped both of them, this and this, pushed up. Created this one, price came, tapped it, pushed up, tapped it again, pushed up. So these liquidity candles have been heavily tested, right? Over the last day, over the last 24 hours, it's been heavily tested. 24 to 36 hours, we've heavily tested these 3 liquidity candles. So I'm not sure if there is volume in them. Price could go right through them. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at. Just save this. Now let's take a look at this area again. We have this supply. This is a source now, this entire zone. Prices come deep in. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it now because we have supply up here. We have a rally, we have 4 basin candles, and we have a drop, but we haven't broken this zone, right? So instead of drawing a new zone, we're going to just push this zone up here, right? We have a rally, 4 basin candles, and a drop. So this would be the base, start of the base. That would be the end of the zone, but I'm going to make the zone on the left and this, I'm going to combine them into one because they otherwise they're too close to each other. Okay, so this open is 928. So that's still a part of 4 hour supply, so we're going to still keep the same label there. Okay, great. Now, this is the NY open. We still have about 20 minutes, 21 minutes, 22 minutes for news. So we have a lot more time for analysis. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what price has done. We have our liquidity candles, we have our high liquidity zones, we have our supply demand zones, we have our high liquidity zones, we have our supply demand zones, we have our high liquidity zones, and now we have our high liquidity candles, right? Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to see what price has done in the Asian and London sessions, right? So let's go to the 50-minute time frame. Okay, that's the market open. So the market opened at 3082, right? Okay, let's take a closer look at this now. The Asian session price moved 530 pips, and in the London session we moved 290 pips. So 530, 290, right? Almost half in the London session. Okay, let's take a look at what happened. Now, we were bullish yesterday, coming off the second half of NY session. Price was bullish, right? Price came, grabbed liquidity. We spoke about this, how it came to our area, to the fib that we have drawn, and it tapped 3055. It tapped the other entry that we had placed, but obviously we didn't take trades there because it was outside of our session hours. Price tapped it, and it was bullish. Price was pushing up. There was a massive push up, right? It's a 500 pip move up, right? From that tap there, it's a 500 pip move up. Very bullish. So the market opened, price tapped the liquidity candle that it created on the way up. Price created a liquidity candle here. It tapped it, went, tapped 3086. That's a weekly SR level. Ranged a bit, closed above, continued up, tapped 301, tapped 3100 because it couldn't tap it on the way up. It couldn't tap 3100. It didn't have enough volume to go tap 3100. That's why it came back, grabbed liquidity from the liquidity candle, closed above, right? You can see the two closes above 3086, and then went and tapped it went and tapped 3100, rejected 3100 twice, came down, created the Asian low, grabbed liquidity again for the second time from this liquidity candle. This is the first time, this is the second time, pushed and closed above 3100, right? This candle closed above 3100, went straight up to that supply zone. Now there is a liquidity candle there. That is why price paused. Let's pause this for a second, our analysis, and look left of here. Because price, as I always say, price is never random, right? Let's just take a quick look to the left. Want to identify why it stopped there instead of tapping 3135. Yeah, this candle. This was the liquidity candle that we had marked yesterday, right? Yeah. Yeah, on the 30-minute, we had marked this candle. $940,558. We had marked this yesterday. Perfect. Now it makes sense. Tapped it, broke it, created 30-minute resistance. That's 30-minute resistance, right? So it created it tapped the liquidity candle, broke the liquidity candle, rejected, created 30-minute resistance. It created the Asian high, right? Range, created the London high, pushed down. Let's go back to the 15-minute time frame now. Right. So we created the Asian high, we created 30-minute resistance, we tried to go back further up. There was no volume to continue to push up. Created 30-minute resistance and closed below the Asian high and came down. Came down and created the London low. Didn't tap the EMA, right? It didn't tap the EMA to grab liquidity to continue higher. And it didn't tap 3100 to continue higher. Let's get rid of this now. We don't need this anymore. So, create a 30-minute resistance, create a 30-minute support here, and we've pushed back up here. Okay, so price hasn't tapped this liquidity candle in the London session. This is the London session. Price hasn't tapped the liquidity candle in the London session to push up. It did it in the Asian session. It hasn't done it in the London session. So we could see a push down. We have a rejection of the Asian. This is the Asian low. Price could come down here and then continue to push up, right? Yeah, I don't want to take sells. Even though there is a possibility that price can drop all the way down here, that's a 300 pip drop. I'm not sure if I want to take sells here. There is no bottom wick on this candle. No bottom wick here. Price could drop down 300 pips, but I'm not sure if I want to take sells here. Got about 10 minutes. Just save this 1 second. Let's take a just a second. Yeah, I don't want to take sells here. This liquidity candle price has broken above it, right? We saw that price has gone above it. I don't want to take sells here, even though I know that price can drop. The London session, price hasn't tapped the liquidity candle in the London session. It didn't tap the EMAs. It didn't tap 3100. It could drop to tap it. You're better off looking for buys once price comes down. You're better off looking for buys. And that's what I want to do. It's better off looking for buys. Yeah. I'm not going to look for sells, even though I believe price can come here, break this low, break this low. Yeah. No, there is, and we don't even have 30-minute resistance here. So, no. Price needs to form 30-minute resistance to even consider taking sells. We don't have 30-minute resistance. Price is clearly rejecting the Asian high. The Asian high and the London high exactly at the same price. You can consider this the same price level, right? We are rejecting it, but we haven't confirmation. We've rejected it here. We have 30-minute resistance here from the Asian high, but we don't have resistance now. We need to see 30-minute resistance to show that price is rejecting it in the pre-NY and NY session to continue down. So I'm not going to take sells, even though I know price could drop. I'm going to wait here, looking for buys. That's the plan. We got about 10 minutes. We got about 9 minutes for news. I'm going to wait for the first 5-minute news candle to close, and I'm going to look for buys. All right. Now, for buys, what could price possibly do? Price needs to grab liquidity to continue higher, right? So it has the EMA, it has 3100, and then it has a liquidity candle, and then it has another EMA, and it has a weekly SR level 3086. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas to grab liquidity to push up. If price comes here and creates 5-minute support to push back up, it would be better if price taps the liquidity candle. I don't want to take a trade-off here when you have a liquidity candle so close. I would like to see price come down. That's about 350 pip, 300 to 325, about a 325 pip drop, right? Or 340 pip drop, 350 pip drop. Create 5-minute support. Stop loss would have to be under this candle here. right? I would like to see a close above 3086 on the 5-minute time frame to continue up, right? And then volume should take us past 3100 and further up. Now, if 30-minute resistance forms here, you can technically take sells, but the 30-minute, you need a 30-minute resistance and you need a tradable 30-minute back candle to close, right? So let's just mark this candle once more. Let's go here. Let's mark this liquidity candle once more. So it's a 254 pip candle. It's a 300 pip candle. Let's start here with this. The 15-minute, it's 225 pips. It's 191 pips. Right. Let's look at the 5-minute. 101. 84. So 101. 93. Yeah, 93. Yeah, 93. So it would be this 5-minute candle. And 40922. Right. That's the candle. Thirty-minute resistance. Yeah. So we haven't closed above that, right? We haven't closed above it. We're trying to push, we're trying to close above. If we close above, the next one could close below and we could drop. Yeah, you've got to be very careful if taking sells here because 30-minute resistance hasn't formed. We have a rejection here. We don't even have 15-minute resistance. 5-minute resistance. Price is going to break this high. Yeah. It's very dicey to take sells here, but you can on the 5-minute time frame because price has to come down here. It's a 200 to 300 pip drop, but you're better off waiting for buys to go up. It might not happen now, it might happen much later on like it did yesterday. Keep in mind when this happened, it happened much later on, right? IC markets times server time 2100. So it could happen much later on the buys, but the buys are better than the sells. Got to be careful. Yeah. I'm not I'm not convinced about the sells. Even though price is in supply and price can drop, I'm not convinced about it. If 30-minute resistance had formed in pre-NY, I would have been comfortable taking. So we have at least some confirmation, but we have nothing now. We have bull candles closing. I'm going to be looking for buys. I'm going to be waiting for that pullback to take buys, right? That's the plan. Yeah. 2 minutes more for news. We might have good numbers, right? They're expecting good numbers. We might have good numbers. This might be the last time that we have good numbers for a while on CPI because once the tariffs have already kicked in, but they have not been applied to the consumer yet because the goods have not the goods that have been tariffed haven't arrived to the US yet. So this might be the last time. It takes about probably about a month or so to get to the US. So we might have uh, just as expected, right? They're expecting good numbers. They're expecting zero point 0.3. So we might have good numbers, and you might have that means that it's good for the currency. You might have that pullback, and then price could push up. So I would I would wait. I would wait. Yeah, I would wait. Anyway, we're going to wait for the first 5-minute candle to close. We're not going to do anything. 30-minute candle is closing bullish. We're going to wait for the first 5-minute candle to close. 20 seconds for news. I'm on the 5-minute time frame. I'm not doing anything. I'm waiting for news. I'm waiting for the first 5-minute candle to close. Okay, I'm not doing anything. You have a push up, no bottom wick. If we come and break its own low, then I'm going to take a sell here. If this candle rejects and comes down and break its own low, we're going to wait for this 5-minute candle to close. Let's see how far it goes. We should tap 3135. We're rejecting the London. Yeah, what the hell? Something's wrong with my. Yeah, I've taken sells here at the top. I don't know why it's not opening on this account. I have another account. I've taken sells, anticipating price to push down because we rejected the London high, anticipating price to come down. We want the 5-minute candle to close bearish and continue to push down. TP levels around here should continue to come down. Three double 17, 3106. 3107, 3106. I've taken sells, not on this account that you see here. I have another account. I don't know why trades didn't open on this. Okay, I moved my stop loss to break even. I took entries up here. It didn't open on this account. I don't know why it didn't open on this account, but I have another account which I have open trades on, and that's this account here. I took trades up here. I closed some of them. When we tapped 3117, I'm waiting for 3106, right? 3106, 3117, 3106. I don't know why it didn't open here. Trades didn't open here. So basically, when price tapped and rejected, I took trades. The 5-minute we closed resistance. I have my stops at break even now. And I'm going to let it run. If it goes up and hits my stop loss, so be it. But I've closed at 303, yeah, 3117. 3117, I've taken partial positions off. Next TP 3106. So I entered somewhere about here. That was 145 pips, 146. If you get here, that's 255 pips, all right? I don't know what's wrong with this account. This account didn't open any trades. And the reason 3117 is because that's 15-minute support right there, right? You can see 15-minute support, right? So that's like the bull candle. The closest round number is 3117. That open price is 3116. 3117 is the closest round number, and I took out about 50% of my position there. Stops at break even. If you continue down, so be it. If it doesn't and goes back up and stops me out, that's fine. Three one zero six. So 3106 is the next area. And then 3100. 3100 is the next area. If it gets there, so 3117, 3106, 3100, and then the liquidity candle. That's 3091. $3092 is better. Yeah, 3092. 3091 or 3092, that's a final TP level, right? So 3117, 3106, 309, 3100 and 3092. If you get there, that's about almost 400 pips. So this is what I'm doing. Not sure why it didn't open on the other. 3106, 3092. Yeah, if you get there. Okay. Let's see. I'm not sure if you're going to get there, but let's see. If you want to wait for the 15-minute candle to close, I mean, price can easily pull back, right? The reason I said we're going to be looking at the 5-minute time frame, and that's exactly what we did. Price tapped the Asian high and London high. They are the same price level. We tapped it, rejected it, and we pushed down. Okay. I got to figure out why trades won't open on my other account. Seems to be pushing up again. Now, like I said, I'm looking for buys, right? This is the news trade. There are two events that I trade the news, right? Where I trade the news, just two events, NFP, CPI, right? Other events, we just basically wait for the 15-minute candle to close or a 30-minute candle to close to take trades. I don't trade off the 5-minute chart. So when you're trading off the 5-minute chart, then it's very likely that you are trading the news event because the news event happens and then the 5-minute candle closes and you get in on trades, right? Now we could be coming back up here. We have a rejection. Price could come back up here all the way and stop us out, right? That's very likely to happen. But yeah, we're trying to push back up. The 15-minute candle is closing a doji. It means nothing. That means this candle has no information on it. Previous 15-minute candle is 61 pips. There is a lot of volume. Okay, we formed M15 resistance, but that's a doji, right? So if you're not in this trade and you want to get in on a trade, then wait for a 15-minute tradable back candle to close to take these sells. Wait, and then the pullback, and then take the trade, right? If you're not in this trade, if you're in this trade, put your stops at break even and let it run. The reason you bring your stops to break even is because this is a news event. This is a high volume news event, right? And price has already hit the first support level, so that's why your stops are breaking. You don't want price to go, if you have taken trades up here, you don't want price to go in drawdown. And if you have secured profit here, then you don't want price to go back in drawdown and give back those wins to the market. So that's the reason you have your stops at break even. And the second reason you have your stops at break even is because this is a high volume event. So price can at any time push straight up 200, 300 pips and break the high and continue high. So you want to have your stops at break even. Yeah. Yeah, we're pushing back to the entries. We're probably going to get stopped out now. Very likely going to stop out, but that's fine. That's why we have our stops at break even. That's the reason. That's the reason to prevent a news trade. See, we're getting stopped out, but stops at break even. So that's absolutely fine. Yeah, perfect. It's no problem at all. This is the reason to protect. We moved 138, 140 pips from entry. Price came here and then it turned back. Da, 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 da. $34, 2614. Yeah. Yeah, we're still pushing up. Yeah, price went up. So whatever trades that I had left got stopped out at break even, and that's it. Right? That was it. So we just, what are the numbers that came out? Unemployment claims are the same as expected. The the numbers were bad, so price should continue to push up. The numbers were all bad, not very bad, but they were bad, right? Um, so price should continue to push up, but I would like to see a liquidity grab before that happens. Yeah, I would like to see a liquidity grab. We rejected 3129.5 again. I took another entry at 3129.55, actually 3929.55. Let's see. If you come back to 3117 and continue lower, because price, that's the fib. This candle broke this high, this candle broke this high, and we should be coming back down here. I'm still waiting for the analysis to play out where price comes down to grab liquidity. We closed a bearish candle here. Let's see if we can come down back here, push back here, 80 pips. Yeah, I entered at 3129.55. Let's see at that sniper entry level there. It's 5-minute structure, 5-minute. These candles took out this high. Price came. Even on the 15-minute. See if you can continue to push down. Yeah, we're coming down. Coming down. Let's see if you can come down to. Again, I've taken as I said, 3129. I took some positions, waiting for here, 3106, 3100, and 3092. It's got about a minute and a half, a minute for the 30-minute candle to close. Might have a bit of a pullback. Let's see. I've got my stop loss back at break even. So if it comes back, no problem. I've got no issues with it if it comes back. Yeah. 30-minute candle is forming resistance, but that's a bearish doji. Once the 1-minute candle breaks its own low and breaks this low, we should continue down. But it needs to break this low. It needs to break this low, the candle with no bottom wick. Once it pushes down, breaks the low, we should come down. No, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's still pushing up. Yeah. There's no CPI volume today. This needs to break this low to come down. Not yet. Okay, we broke it now. We should continue down. We should push down. Let's see. Yeah, we should come down. 3117 and then 3106. Stop loss is here. This is drawn off the 15-minute candle. This candle broke this high. This one broke this high, right? 15-minute resistance formed. Entry here. This would be partial close. You could take some positions off the table at 125 pips, then 235 pips. So if you didn't take the first trade that I took from here, this would have been the second one to take after I drew the fib. 3106. But it's very slow. It's struggling to push down. Every time we push down, we're kind of pulling back up, and we're pushing down with candles with no top wicks, so which means price is going to retrace above it when that happens. Yeah, we have to break this low to continue. This low is 2091. This low is 21. Yeah, we have to break this low for price to continue down into this range. It's clean space to the left. Continue down. Once we come here, then once we close below this, we close below 3117, we're good to come down. That's the issue. Price has to close below 3117. A 15-minute candle needs to close below 3117 for price to come down to 3106 and 3100. We have a 1-hour doji, bearish doji, 30 minutes bearish doji, 15-minute bearish doji, also bearish doji, no tradable 15-minute candle yet, no tradable 30-minute candle yet. But as I said, we are trading off the 5-minute chart today. That's exactly what we did, traded off the 5-minute chart. The price is still pushing back. It's trying to come back up. Yeah. We've rejected this sniper entry, but it's coming back up. There's no volume to push down today. Price is struggling. This could be a 30-minute liquidity grab yesterday. This one right here to push up. But we haven't tapped in the London session. Price hasn't tapped any liquidity level yet. That is the reason I've tried to take. But we are pushing back up again. Yeah, we're trying to push back up. If it was a normal trading day, I would have always left my stop loss there, but this is a high volume day and there's a lot of bullish volume. That is why I take entry, bring my stops to break even. I don't, because I don't want to go into, you got to remember this is a counter trend trade that we're taking. Yeah, we're pushing up, we're pushing back up. It's a bullish engulfing candle on the 1 minute. We're trying to push back up. Yeah. No volume, we're just ranging. Prices came down and trying to go back up. Probably trying to create support here to push back up. I was anticipating a push back down here, but doesn't seem like it's going to happen. 5-minute candle close bullish. Next one should break the high and continue higher. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's nothing happening. Price is just ranging here. Maybe 30, probably waiting for 30-minute support to form for price to continue higher. Just, yeah, we're about to form 15-minute support here. So if we form support here, the next one could break the high and continue higher. Just got to be careful. Yeah, yeah, we form support. form support. Trying to push back up. There's nothing. Sheesh. Yeah, we're pushing up. Just continue to push up. Hmm. We could be pushing to 3150 now. Yeah, there was nothing. Price didn't pull back to the liquidity candle or to the EMAs or to any liquidity level, just continued up. We had a doji there and price just continued up. Yeah, just one of those days that there is no movement. Tap 3135, rejecting that. Yeah, that's it. Just calling it a day. I did take trades here at the beginning. On the 5 minute candle touched here, I took trades. We came here, got out at 3117, closed partial positions at 3117. That was the TP level 1. The rest, I brought my stops to break even, and they got stopped out when price came up here. Right, came up here, got stopped out. And since then, we've had nothing. Right, price has just been ranging. We have tapped 3135. We've gone past the liquidity candle. I can get rid of that. And we've gone past the zone as well. We got a liquidity candle here, so there is nothing you can do. You can't buy under it because price is going to go hit it. You can't sell above it. To sell, there is no confirmations at all because price has already broken the liquidity candle. So once price breaks the liquidity candle, it's heading to the next liquidity candle. So there is absolutely no chance of selling. Right? For buying, you'd have to wait for, yeah, maybe if price pulls back here to this optimal entry, take a trade, stop loss under there, and then anticipate price to push back to go up all the way to the liquidity candle here, 250 pips. But I wouldn't take any trades right now because I don't see any volume. Prices just, we're creating, even though there are large candles, they're all dojis. All of these, all of these. That's a doji, 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 right? We're just moving sideways. They are big candles, but they're all dojis. So I wouldn't do anything today. Maybe wait. I'm not going to give out any trade ideas either, because the trade idea would have been to buy from a liquidity level, and price didn't drop to a liquidity level. You can't sell because price is broken past the liquidity candle and should be heading up to here, 3150, right? So you can't sell. You can sell from up here. If you get 30-minute resistance form up here, you can sell. 30-minute resistance form and a tradable 30-minute candle close, you can sell from here, 3150 or the liquidity candle, but you cannot sell from here because price is broken past the liquidity candle. It should be pushing up here. Yeah, but we could have a pullback, and if price pulls back, so sells up here, that would be the trade idea for sells. Wait for 30-minute resistance to form and a 30-minute back candle to close, a tradable 30-minute back candle to close, to sell from here. So that can happen with one candle that forms resistance, and also that can be a tradable 30-minute back candle to trade from up here. For buys, you would have to wait for at one of the liquidity levels, right? We spoke about the liquidity levels. That's one liquidity level, the EMA, the BRN, the big round number, the liquidity candle, the next EMA, and this weekly SR level, right? So any one of those areas, wait for 30 minutes support to form. And the reason I say 30 minutes support is because price is just creating dojis right now. That's a 1 hour doji. This is a bull candle signaling prices heading up. We've closed above, we've closed at the Asian high and the London high, so we should be pushing up. But if you are taking that trade, wait for price to come up down here. Price has broken this supply zone, so you can get rid of it. You can take it out. Price has broken the supply zone. Um, so it should be heading up here, right? 3150 is where it should be heading up. But if you are taking buys, wait for, we have 30-minute support, right? There's a tradable 30-minute bull candle has closed. Wait for price to pull back, ideally around here, 3125. So you have a tighter stop loss and then look to go up, because then the momentum that price has to go up 100 pips should break 3150 and continue up. Okay, that's the buy idea. So you can take buys from here. Stop loss would be under this candle low. So that low would be 3116. Under that candle low would be a stop loss. Buys. Your TPs would be 3150. But wait for price to pull back. Don't take buys here because you've got 3135 right in front of you. So wait. That's one buy idea. The next buy idea is where if this doesn't work and price pulls back, wait for 30-minute support to be created at any one of the liquidity levels, and then wait for the pullback and take the buys. Stop loss would be under the 30-minute candle low that created support. For sells, up here. Wait for 30-minute resistance to be created and a 30-minute tradable back candle to close. A stop loss would be above the liquidity candle high. Wait for the pullback to take the sells to come down. Your TPs would be 3135 and lower. Okay, those are the trade ideas. I don't like personally waiting because it's a Thursday and we didn't have CPI volume, right? But we could have volume later on, just like we did yesterday, right? The volume can come later on. Look at that. Price came to our entries and pushed later on. That's a long time from now. There is about 27 minutes for the 4-hour candle to close. I would say wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Don't do anything until the 4-hour candle closes. Right? Don't try to take any trades. Wait for the 4-hour candle to close to do anything. Okay. All right. That's it. We didn't have volume except for this one trade that I took. I don't know why. I got to check why trades didn't open on this account, but it did open on my other account as I showed. When price tapped here, we took those sells. But other than that, price came to the first TP. Other than that, there was nothing. Okay. We're pushing down again. Yeah, just wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Don't do anything. Wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Price might just come all the way down here. Might come straight down. It might come to our liquidity area. You never know. Wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Don't do anything. Wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Yeah, we're pushing down. We tapped 3135, rejected. We're trying to push down. Just wait. Wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Yeah. I would have liked to see a close above, a 15-minute close above or a 30-minute close above, and then a close back inside this zone. Then that's confirmation that price is coming down. But this is not confirmation that price is coming down. So don't try to take sells here. There are no sells here. Price is broken above the liquidity candle. If price closed above the liquidity candle on the 15-minute time frame or the 30-minute time frame and closed back inside the liquidity candle, so we closed above, closed back inside, then yes, that could be sells, but this is not. We closed above, got to wait. If you want to take sells, you have to wait. The candle has closed above, you got to wait for this candle to close back below, inside, to take the sells, right? Don't take sells now because you don't know this candle. If we have another almost 10 minutes for the candle to close, price can go all the way back up and close bullish because we've broken the liquidity candle high, right? For sells, you want to see price close above, close back below, and ideally close below um, the Asian and London highs. A 15-minute candle close below, then you can look to take the sells to come down to these TP levels: 3117, 3106, 3100, 3092. But you got to wait for that. You got to wait another 8 minutes to see where the candle is going to close. So wait, and that'll be the close of the 30-minute candle, the 1 hour candle, and the 4 hour candle. Sorry, no, there's 23 minutes for the 4 hour candle to close. So you got to wait for the 15-minute candle to close to see where this candle is going to close. If it closes back below, then maybe you could take sells on the pullback to come down. That's possible because price hasn't grabbed liquidity to push up, right? I said this many times. Price hasn't grabbed liquidity yet to push up. We have a liquidity grab yesterday, right? From these levels. That's a 30-minute wick, 110 pip, 12 pip wick. But today we haven't grabbed liquidity. In the London session, we haven't. So it needs to grab liquidity to continue. And it's going to do that at one of these liquidity areas. Remember that. All right. See you tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. Tomorrow we have PPI. Hopefully we'll have a trade there, but we are not. I don't trade the 5-minute time frame on PPI, right? Tomorrow is a normal trading day, even though there is news. We're going to wait for the first 15-minute candle to close before we look for any setups. All right. Take care. Stay safe. Don't over risk. Don't over trade. See you tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST.